Demon Mama, please. I
It's
need
not a
you
matter
to
of running. I'm
understand.
getting tired of this.
Then
Like,
you
are
can
you
then go to
having
sleep, okay? No, wait, Demon Mama, stop.
unironically,
Stop with the indignance, Demon Mama. You're not as fragile as you're pretending to be here.
what I was saying is that every single person in the world should just become a chemist. It's your
Demon
problem. That's
Mama,
not a me
you're
problem.
talking about unregulated chemical labs.
%0 of you are subscribed. Fix that.
Hello.
I just want to know, okay, so we're all pro supply chain here, right? We're all anarcho supply chainists?
What do you mean by supply chain? Some people were saying that I was denouncing supply chains. The person in this like sort of random conversation we were having was saying like, oh, you can't produce medicine at all without basically capitalism. And I don't agree with that. I think that there are a lot of medicines that can be produced on a smaller scale that isn't locked behind. I think that they did.
No,
that was my interpretation of it.
They said, how do you manage large
Sorry,
supply chains without bureaucracy? And then they explained why supply chains can be helpful to manufacture medication or generally leverage comparative advantage, blah, blah.
Right.
And then this is literally how all specialization works. How would you produce medicine? They don't mention capitalism. Right. And the positive example that you've provided so far, the Open Insulin Project, is one which would rely on the existence of supply chains and which has a bureaucratic structure. If you were to form any lab
wait, hold
like
on a second. Okay, so what I was saying here is like, wait a second. No, like, yes, people coming together to alleviate reliance on super monopolized, big pharma controlled supply chains is a good thing. Yes, this is a way that we can do that.
But they're still a part of the supply chain. You're not less participatory in a supply chain just because you're not participating in the monopolization of an element of it.
This is I never advocated against the existence of a supply chain. I'm talking about how we address the problem with hyper centralized, hyper bureaucratic, hyper gate supply chains.
The tweet that you were responding to was specifically defending supply chains. Wait, no, stop. Because you interrupted me a few times.
Go ahead.
The tweet thread was specifically about defending how supply chains are necessary in the production of medicine, and your response, implicitly because you're disagreeing with a person who is defending the necessity of supply chains, was this, which made it sound like we're talking bathtub insulin. That's what this sounds like. Now what you're talking about is fighting against the logistical and legal monopolization of some elements of the supply chain, but you're still a part of the supply chain.
So it's a very interesting and unfavorable position that I think uncharitable position that I find myself in. Like, I don't know where this like, again, it's this totally unhinged thing that people have projected onto me. Like, my response here was
what
because
do you disagree with from this
excuse me, hold on,
Twitter user then?
This Twitter wait, so like I didn't know that this was like the that my crime of like offending or
Demon
not
Mama.
perfectly arguing.
No, Demon Mama.
You didn't even let me finish what I'm saying. I understand I go for a while,
because I feel like you keep running. I just want to know broadly, do you disagree with anything this person said then? Because if you don't, then it seems like very random to, in a tweet thread of a person you don't disagree with, who's defending supply chains, to then respond with something that sounds really weird and doesn't really address the supply chain question, but then to go on to defend supply chains, but like sort of tangentially. Do you disagree with anything that they've said? That's all I want to know.
Like, I don't know. Like, okay, if your goal is to try and like force a framework onto me here and like be like, you were being bad to this Twitter user. Okay, yeah, maybe I misinterpreted.
Can we just engage? So they didn't talk about hyper-centralization. You just asked me a question.
You didn't even let me finish it. Wait,
I asked you if you agreed with them.
Oh my God. Okay, so this is Twitter court then.
No,
this is what this is.
Demon Mama, I asked you if you agreed with them, and you answered that, and then you continued with a sort of projection of my mental state onto this, like whether or not I'm just accusing you of being mean to people on Twitter.
You just asked me whether I disagree with their position, and
I tried to explain,
and you interrupted me. Yes, I disagree with their idea that large supply chains or bureaucratic supply chains are a 100 or highly bureaucratic supply chains are a necessity. I don't agree with that. I don't think that that's true.
They just said bureaucratic.
Okay, but that's your reading of this conversation that I was having.
That's the read that you get if you put it through text-to-speech.
I did not expect to be put on like 600 quote retweet trial for my response to this dude in a comment. And
can you please
to-
can you please stop with the victim thing? We both get attacked all the time. Wait, we
Wait,
both
I'm
get
sorry.
attacked. Demon Mama, we both get attacked all the time. You
And
like
you whine about it just as much as I do. Don't
not
try
when
to play like
no,
I'm a victim. You were just
come
doing it
on.
earlier this
We're with
thread. Come on,
we're with
man.
friends here. Like, why are you keep doing
Wait
this
a
whole
second.
wait
We're
DM
with
wait DM
Oh my
why
God.
do you keep doing this? Like, and I got attacked for this tweet this far down.
I didn't.
All I've been doing is asking you what you believe and trying to contrast it against contents that I see in the thread. I've been very neutral and level-handed in how I approach this. I would appreciate it if you stopped projecting antagonism onto my behavior. Now, I'm totally okay with you clarifying and explaining. That's why I'm mostly asking you questions. The issue is, if you have a problem with people looking at this and asking you questions about this tweet, like, it seems to me like you want to run away from it. But I want to ask you, like, I want to explore. I want to know what you meant by it. But if you're angry at me for wanting to know while giving you room to add additional explanations, then it seems like your issue isn't that you're not being given room to fully explain. Your issue is that you're being asked to explain it all. You know what I mean?
No.
Making this medicine easier to access, less legally gatekept, easier to produce, cheaper to produce. This is stuff that's going to be done by multi-billion-dollar industries, court battles fought by high-paid lawyers, and teams of experts who combined have enough education to build black holes. This isn't going to be done by...
I don't think so.
Wait, it absolutely is.
I don't think so. I think some things
wait, hold
will
on.
be.
After all the fuss about interrupting, these advancements, especially stuff like cheaper production of insulin, I mean, historically, in almost all commodity productions, the way you make cheaper the production of something is by streamlining the economy of scale which allows for its production. Sometimes you have chemical breakthroughs that allow for that, but generally those breakthroughs are going to be done by people who have the biggest and most well-funded teams, and that's almost always going to be people already in the pharmaceutical industry. So if you want to make the process more efficient, you're not going to do... It seems to me like there are two different things here, and they're unrelated. And one of them is we need to reduce gatekeeping, reduce centralization. We need to make this more accessible, more cheap. And the other one is having friends with chemistry degrees and learning to make this stuff yourself. And that's the part of this tweet that I disagree with, because it seems like all the stuff you're adding onto the tweet, I agree with. Yes, we should make this more accessible. We should make this more cheap. We should make this easier to produce. We should destroy the systems of gatekeeping that keep people from getting access to this. But we should not be encouraging like DIY painkiller meth labs where people with no regulation or oversight
right there you just said it.
Fix systemic problems.
You just said it right there. Do you see what you just projected onto my actual tweet?
I feel
like that right there, what you did right there, saying that like I'm advocating for like meth labs and shit is what I was trying to say at all. I feel like that's ridiculous. I feel like that's the sort of core of the uncharitability I'm dealing with.
Where in this tweet am I supposed to assume government regulation and standard and production control is involved?
Nowhere. You're just talking about something else now.
Wait. So if there is no quality standard for what you're producing, then I will compare it to a meth lab. Because the only difference between it and a meth lab is you're making something other than
who's talking about quality standards? Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
this is
hopefully
the
people who need the medicine.
Yes, obviously. Wait, where did I say anything that you should just not care about the quality of the medicine?
Demon
that
Mama,
you should
it's
not
not
have
about
any
not caring. It's that they don't have the what you're advocating for doesn't entail the regulations which would allow for good quality control.
I recognize that it doesn't entail the regulation. But regulation isn't the only thing that protects the clarity or the purity of a
Demon
medication.
Mama, is this a joke?
Again,
are we to go back to 1900s America? Are we to go back to the rat shit dropped in the... No, wait, Demon Mama, stop. Stop with the indignance, Demon Mama. You're not as fragile as you're pretending to be here. Are there or are there not federal regulations on the production of this medicine that you're advocating for here with your chemistry knowing friends?
Of course.
How are federal regulators regulating the production of an unlicensed lab with people who have learned chemistry from medicine books and lab equipment they bought online?
Frustrating.
Are you
because I'm trying to answer what you're
advocating that the free market will self-regulate to produce high-quality products without federal regulation?
No. And no, not even close. And the fact that you've come to that just shows to me that, like, I feel
Stop
there's no
with
attempt
the
to engage.
addendums. When I ask a question that is yes or no,
I can
just
addendum
want
whatever the fuck I
answer.
want.
But
I don't.
it
You don't like. You don't
detracts.
impose. Wait, it doesn't detract anything. You ask me a
detracts.
question and I speak. If you want to have if you want it to be like an inquisition and you want me to just answer with single yes, no,
But you're just
one word.
whining.
I'm not whining.
You
Okay,
are.
fine.
Wait,
all right.
chat.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what the core question is.
It just seems like you're doing the anarchist. It's funny because earlier I said that a lot of anarchists just sound like libertarians, and you're doing the, oh well, there won't be any federal regulation on this medicine that could easily kill a person, but we'll have quality control because the people who are doing it will choose to make it of high quality.
I didn't say that though.
Then by what system could you make sure that these unlicensed laboratories which are producing medicines through DIY methods are of high quality? Because right now the system to ensure the quality of traditionally produced pharmaceuticals is massive and incredibly extensive. The FDA does an incredibly stringent job overlooking the production of these because the consequences of mistakes which they have made could be catastrophic. You need experts and millions of dollars of equipment.
Okay.
They have those nuclear testing machines to make sure that the molecules are lined up right. And all of this is done.
But what is that? What are you getting at with that? Like,
Fewer
I recognize
accidental deaths.
Okay. Oh my God. Like, I don't know how to like. I feel like.
Why would you
like
ask me? What does regulation of the pharmaceutical industry get us? What do you mean?
What? Who said that?
You just DM. You just asked that directly. Are you trying to gaslight me? You just asked that explicitly.
I'm sorry. Did I don't know what. I'm sorry. Unironically, I don't know what you're talking about right here. Did I misspeak?
Are you high?
Oh my God. Okay.
So in an underserved area
anymore. This is so fucking stupid.
I agree, but not for the reasons you feel. It seems to me like you're like almost Hassan-like in your inability to take an L on something.
Are you for real right now?
I'm being perfectly real. In both cases, I feel like there's no way to explain to you that your position is untenable. You just it's the victim peddling and the double and triple and quadruple and pentuple and sextuple and septuple down, but like. I don't even know, and to the point now where it feels like you're gaslighting me, like you're ignoring elements of the convo that have happened earlier.
I'm gaslighting you? Vaush, this is insane. Like, this is insane.
That's, you think I'm gaslighting you? You're insane. All right.
You woke up grumpy. You have locked onto one tweet out of a literal like
I've tried to engage with everything that you've said here.
No.
Dan,
so
you're free to hang up if you're going to, if you want to run, okay? I need
it's not a matter
you to
of
understand.
Running. I'm getting tired of this.
Then
like,
then go to sleep, okay?
You are going to go and watch this VOD back, and you're going to see where I literally immediately answered.
You're not going to watch this VOD back.
What?
You're not going to watch this VOD back. It would not be in your interest to do so. I don't need to. I'm going to publish it. People in my community are going to agree with me. I'm disgusted by your behavior here. I don't care, Demon Mama. I don't care, Demon Mama. I don't listen, Demon. I don't care if you're incorrect. Lord knows I have been wrong before, okay? The attitude you take when disagreed with is repugnant and abusive.
You talk about taking an attitude when you are disagreed with.
I am.
Friend. I'm so sorry.
The attitude you take when people disagree with you is
of
insanely bad. Yeah.
Okay. I spare me. Please.
I have tried my best to engage with what you've said, but like Hassan, I legit for you to talk of condescension, Demon Mama.
Yes.
Legitimately, like Hassan, I genuinely don't know how one could disagree with you.
I'm Hassan now. Okay.
How could I disagree with you?
Have a great day.
How could you see, Demon?
Do you genuinely believe? I mean, I don't know.
The answer to whatever you're about to ask is probably at this point, yes. I don't know what I could have done in this conversation to have better expressed my opinions or attempted to unearth yours. But you seem offended by the act of attempting to understand or challenge what you say.
I think that is a very uncharitable interpretation of this conversation. I think that maybe, we can end this conversation by disagreeing on
the problem isn't the disagreement.
I'm sorry if this was too disrespectful or whatever.
It's not
or if you
about the
didn't like my
disrespect.
tone or
It's that
whatever it was.
no, it's not about
It
the
just seems
demon
really
mama.
weird that
It's
you would.
not
It seems
about
really weird that you would
disagreeing.
fixate. It seems
It's
weird
not
that you would
about
fixate on this one
disrespect.
tweet, and then when
It's
I
about.
answer your
It's not
questions,
about
you would accuse me
fixating
of
on the
gaslighting
tweet.
and call me Hassan.
It's not
very
about
weird
Hassan.
conversation,
It's not
Vaush.
about Hassanabi.
And I think
It is
I'm
not.
sorry.
Oh,
I just
you were going to continue. Okay, no, go ahead.
yeah.
It's your
I
stream.
was talking and you started talking.
I know you were
Yeah, that's how
talking.
it
It's
goes,
been
yeah.
emblematic of the entire conversation. I feel like
Oh
I've
yeah,
had to struggle
same.
to
Wow,
get every
weird.
word
A
in.
conversation, two people talking. All right, Vaush, have a nice day.
Is that what she read from what I said?
You just
Oh, I thought you'd already left, so that's why I said she instead of
No, I didn't.
you. Okay, that would have been good timing, but I'm fine to continue. I'm not tired and I'm not in a bad mood.
Okay.
It's not about disagreeing. It's about the way in which you've engaged with disagreement. On Twitter,
Okay, what way
because
did I do wrong?
I've read through the responses on Twitter, and there's a whole lot of you not clarifying and a whole lot of you being the victim. So like
Really?
there are, yes, as you've done in this conversation about 24 times, you know, you're very quick to remind me and everyone how bad faith you're being treated in. And listen,
No,
as someone who
I
gets
disagree with
treated in
this
bad faith please,
Oh my god.
as somebody who gets treated with bad faith pretty often, I very much get the desire to rebel against that perception. But in a lot of these cases, like, these people are legit just disagreeing with you, and you're just rebuking the disagreement with sass. And then you've come on here, and I swear to God, about a third of you talking has been clarifying your point, and 2/3 of it has been complaining about me not in good faith interpreting what you've said. But I feel like I'm engaging pretty directly with the shit you're saying. I still don't know.
I was engaging pretty directly with yours. I just feel like you're asking a lot of questions that are based off of the reaction that other people have had to me, as opposed to what I actually said.
I just
it's funny.
don't
Wait, hold on,
know.
no. You just had your little bit where you got to present your interpretation of events, which is
what I mean.
which
It's
is based
like the
off you.
1/3 to 2/3.
Excuse me. What do you mean?
It's the grandstanding, DM. It's the grandstanding.
You just grandstanded.
That's not what grandstanding is. If you think grandstanding is just when you talk, then no wonder you think that we've both done it in equal measure. Did it happen this time? No, God! You're spooking me. You can't go quiet like that after saying, you know, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave. I don't have the Discord window open. I keep thinking, oh, now I can have the.
You say things that are just blatantly false. If an organization is shown to have fudged or be a dishonest source, then all the other people can say, we denounce this person. Here's the reasons why.
These
we publish
are
our
ANCAP arguments, Demon Mama.
These are not ANCAP
These
arguments.
are verbatim. I've argued with ANCAPs, Demon Mama. You are literally saying that, oh, they'll publish their information publicly. And no, it is directly an ANCAP argument. You're saying that we don't need regulation because with the free exchange of information, we can trust the reputation.
I literally never said that. You asked how regulation would work. No,
okay, sorry,
stop.
federal regulation.
Please.
No, Demon Mama, please. We're talking about an absence of FDA. I agree, it's incredibly annoying. Wait, you are literally like, do you listen to yourself? We don't need federal regulation because the reputation of these institutions will allow for people to make good decisions about whether or not to work with them in the future. These are verbatim ANCAP arguments.
That is not verbatim an ANCAP argument.
Have you argued with ANCAPs?
Yes, I have.
Then you're either forgetting or lying to me.
Okay. Well, I disagree with you on that.
I know, because you're not even listening to yourself.
You can declare that if you want to.
You would recognize this if someone else was saying this. You're so lacking in self-awareness.
Okay, I'm sorry. For the last 30 minutes, we had a back and forth, and then you started getting frustrated, and then you didn't let me finish my answer, and now you're going off on how I'm identical to an ANCAP. Like, I don't get it. I don't get
I know you don't. You're locked in a prison of your own perceptive capabilities.
Sure, yeah, bro. Yeah.
You need to look outside of the box, Demon Mama. Okay?
Yes.
These are libertarian arguments. They're not good.
Okay.
They're bad.
Sure, okay, that's fine.
It
Generally referring to
it seems like every time you say something that's indefensible, when I say like, whoa, what do you mean by this? You accuse me of being essentially like uncharitable for interpreting right now with the ANCAP stuff. You just made ANCAP arguments. The arguments you made were as ANCAP as Putin's blood and soil arguments were fascist. There's no room for analogizing or argument on this.
Again, this is just, I think this is just really uncharitable schizo
I
posting.
I literally just said when you don't like how I characterize your arguments, you'll say I'm uncharitable and crazy, and then you just did it. You're not even self-aware enough to realize when you're like walking into rakes and letting them hit you on the forehead over and over.
I asked you for an example.
There's one rake in a field that's an acre wide, and you keep walking onto it, DM. I have been very direct and clear and incisive in all the points that I've made in this conversation. We're not wandering around in circles because we're both talking past each other. You're just failing to address points that I'm making and then sort of loftily dismissing the invalidity of the argument as a whole.
I strongly disagree with your characterization of that, and I think the VOD will speak for itself, but okay.
All right, well. Yeah. If you take any medication in the near future, just make sure it's properly sourced, okay?
Everybody should have an atomic synthesizer in their house.
Pretty please.